Chapter 9, Preparing Your Place. This chapter begins with two Bible quotes. And I'm just going to say this, I feel late to say it. If you are someone that's maybe listening along and you don't believe in the Bible, or you dislike religion or anything like that, I'm going to say that just put those feelings and thoughts to one side and stay open-minded to the things that are being shared. What was it, Alan Watts, that said you can't get wet by the word water. So if the word God is used here and maybe it triggers you in a bad way because you've not had a good experience with any religion or any faith, don't let that discourage you. These teachings and these words go, they're not really religious words. The way Neville shares this is a way that will blow your mind. It's a way that's completely not how you're used to it. So be open-minded. And let's jump into chapter 9. All are mine, all are thine, and thine are mine. John 17:10. Trust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. Revelation 14:15. All is yours. Do not go seeking for that which you are. Appropriate it, claim it, assume it. Everything depends upon your concept of yourself. That which you do not claim as true of yourself cannot be realized by you. The promise is this: whosoever hath, to him it shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that which he has, which he seemeth not to have. End of quote. So hold fast in your imagination to all that is lovely and all of good report. For the lovely and the good are essential in your life, if it is to be worthwhile. Assume it. You do this by imagining that you already are what you want to be, and you already have what you want to have. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Be still and know that you are that which you desire to be, and you will never have to search for it. In spite of your appearance of freedom of action, you obey, as everything else does, the law of assumption. Whatever you may think of the question of free will, the truth is your experiences throughout your life are determined by your assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious. An assumption builds a bridge of incidents that lead inevitably to the fulfillment of itself. Man believes the future to be the natural development of the past, but the law of assumption clearly shows that this is not the case. Your assumption places you psychologically where you are not physically. Then your senses pull you back from where you were psychologically to where you are physically. It is these psychological forward motions that produce your physical forward motions in time. Precognition permeates all the scriptures of the world. And Neville again here quotes the Bible. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. And now I have told you before it came to pass, that when it is come to pass, you might believe. John 14:2, 3 and 29. The I in this quotation is your imagination, which goes into the future, into one of the many mansions. Mansions is the state desired, telling of an event before it occurs physically. Sorry, I'm going to read this again. Mansion is the state desired, telling of an event before it occurs physically. It's simply feeling yourself into the state desired until it has the tone of reality. You go and prepare a place for yourself by imagining yourself into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Then you speed from this state of the wish fulfilled, where you have not been physically, back to where you were physically a moment ago. Then, with an irresistible forward movement, you move forward across a series of events to the physical realization of your wish. That where you have been in imagination, there you will be also in flesh. Unto the place from whence the river come, thither they return again. Ecclesiastes 1:7. And it's the end of chapter 9. So in this chapter, Neville looks at using our imagination to put us into a place that we want to be. And I know that some of the writing in this chapter, especially the Bible quotes, are in like King James language, so Old English language. But to simplify it, this chapter actually is, I would say, is an extract of one of Neville's teachings on states. And what states are is that we all live in different two houses. So you live in a physical house, but you also live in like an emotional house or a mental house. Mentally, you are somewhere. We all dwell somewhere, and whether that's in doubt or in fear or in unbelief or in despondency or in faith or in confidence or in feeling lucky, we all choose these places, and sometimes you go between these different states regularly, sometimes not that regularly, depending on how well set you are. So by choosing, when the I says I go and in the Bible it was talking of Jesus when he said, I go to prepare a place for you, but never brings it to our imagination. Your imagination is going to prepare a place for you. So what you want is still in the future. It hasn't happened yet. But how you access it, how you access that future, and how you bring that thing into the now is you right now. Today, you start imagining. You imagine the thing that you want, which hasn't happened. So you're projecting yourself into the future. And as you're imagining it, it's almost like you physically moved into the future. You've moved yourself into that person that has the thing you want, but it hasn't happened. It's in another dimension. And when you stop imagining, you almost come back, you bring back yourself and your thoughts, and you're back here in this moment. So that's why when he's explaining in this chapter some of the language, he's using a description of going forward and coming back and going forward and coming back, because that's how the imagination works. Our imagination goes into the future, imagines something that hasn't happened yet, and then when you stop imagining it, you come back into your reality, you're back into this now moment. But as you're doing this, you're preparing that place. And the more you do it, the more intense you do it, the more often you do it, the more that place is, the more you're furnishing the house, and you're putting a roof on the house, and you're making it nice. And before you know it, the whole house takes shape, and it is a real thing. And this is obviously speaking in parables, but by house we mean your desire. As you know, when you start building a house, you start with just the foundation, then you do another stage, then you start on the walls, then you do this, then you put the windows in, then you put the door on, then you put the roof on. and then you work on the inside and you finish it. And that's sometimes how imagination works. When we decide what we truly want, and we decide that, yeah, I want to be this, I want to manifest this, the start of it is like the foundation. And then the more you project yourself into imagining it, the more you're building on that house. So don't be frustrated if you've imagined something for a couple of times and it hasn't happened yet. You've imagined yourself being healed from a certain illness and it hasn't happened yet. You've imagined yourself winning the lottery, getting some money, and it hasn't happened yet. Don't be frustrated. Keep working on your house. Keep using your imagination to move, to project yourself into the future. And as you're doing this, you are making your imagination concrete. You're making your idea, your ideal, your dream concrete by adding all these layers on it. And as you do that in a way that you know not how, there will be some things that will happen, or a bridge of instance, as Neville calls it. Some things will take place that will lead you into the fulfillment of your dream. So this is the end of this chapter, and I will see you on the next one.